Welcome. We're here at the Goals House. My name is Ben Christensen. Here at Cannes Lions, the Goals House, as you know, is focusing on the strategic thinking around the 17 global goals. Today, we have a session here with some of the people who are driving and building, mobilizing both online and offline communities for impact, for both the next generation and our multi-generational planetary team. That's right. Think about it for a second. Imagine if all 8 billion people in the world were able to have the same access to education that you and I have had, and that you and I have had here on this, our problem-solving capacity as a species. Well, I'm introducing you to some of the most, some of the humans who are really bringing that accessibility to people through various mediums and genres. Malak, will you introduce yourself and what you're doing?
Hi, I'm Malak Yacout. I'm a social entrepreneur and co-founder at the Volunteer Circle. It's an online skill-sharing platform that connects you to volunteer opportunities based on your own goals and objectives. You may think of it as the Uber for volunteering. Through this platform, we empower you to share your time, your skills, and advance the SDG you're most passionate about. In a nutshell, that's it.
That's
It
fantastic.
transforms the way we approach volunteering in Lebanon and the Middle East.
So if you ever thought about Uber for volunteering and how you can get accessibility, look up Volunteer Circle.
.com, exactly. The volunteercircle.com.
Idiare?
Okay, my name is Idiare Atimomo. I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. I run an advertising agency called Up in the Sky Limited. We do commercial work. More importantly, we do a lot of passion project work in the film and advertising for causes. In the last 3 years of our business, we've done advertising for homeless kids in orphanages, mental health awareness, domestic violence as it affects women and children. And these are some of the things that keep us excited. We see how these causes have an impact on the sustainable development goals of the UN. And that's why we're passionate to be here in the UN Goals House.
Thank you, Edie.
My name is Ellie Robison, founder of 2 companies, Dunk Media and GRIT Media, both 2 digital agencies where we have an internal network of over 100 million people on social media primarily, and we produce content and distribute content across those. And I'm passionate about this because I feel over the past year I've been shifting what we've been trying to do to more spread consciousness in the world, and I think that consciousness can help all the SDG goals, because I think that's the underlying factor to all of it, is how do we help each other as human beings from heart to heart. So that's me.
Nice. My name is Mozie, and I'm a social activist and a creative entrepreneur. I'm also a co-founder of a nonprofit called WANA, stands for We Are New Africa, and our premises and our goals are pretty much in empowering, educating, and also creating sustainable living and lifestyles for African communities. Right now we have a lot of great activations in Uganda, Ghana, Nigeria. We're focusing really on technology. We just acquired 10 acres in Ghana where we're going to be building a tech institute in the next 2 years. So the inspiration is really in people, very passionate about people and storytelling, and particularly the African story.
And as we're at Cannes, that storytelling is incredibly important. So we have this whole megaphone to the world. So Akin, will you also introduce yourself?
My name is Akin Dairo, founder of GRIŌT, and we are Nigerian creatives. And one is a platform that helps people do storytelling at scale. And when I say people, I mean brands, but I help them communicate with people a little bit better. And we are Nigerian creatives. It's all about showcasing Nigerian talent around the world. We work with We Are New Africa to make sure that we can showcase as much of Nigeria's talent as possible, starting there, West Africa next, and then the world.
Wonderful. So we're on this platform here, and we have an opportunity at Cannes Lions as speakers, either at the Palais or in the different venues throughout the space, to talk about with some of the world's leading brands. Now, we all have interfaced with one of these leading brands in the world before. We do it through our daily entertainment, we do it through the products that we purchase, but do we do it with a consciousness of the sustainability and the impact, the modern slavery that may or may not be incorporated? I know that was heavy, but look it up, because we can, right? So here are some opportunities. I want to hear a little bit about one of your passion projects, one of those areas that have come up that you're have started or are looking forward to in your work? Idiare,
I should go first?
please.
Okay, one of the projects that we did sometime last year was a short film on literacy.
Yeah.
And basically what we tried to do was to put the viewers in the world of someone who could not read.
Yeah.
Because what we found out was people had no understanding of what someone's world looked like. And what we tried to do was to show the awakening of consciousness.
Yeah.
Once someone who had a desire to read started being able to read. And this was a totally no dialogue film, about 8 minutes, and the impact was very incredible in Nigeria. And what this has said to me is the importance of education. There must be something driving prosperity. And usually prosperity is driven by understanding, by education,
Yeah.
by the ability to communicate, globally. And so education is something that I'm really invested in as one of the SDG goals. It's something that we feel that can have a big impact in our country and across Africa. It's something that we're going to be investing in more as we go along.
Fantastic. I'm much more confident and hopeful knowing the projects that you're doing. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Elliot.
Yeah, for the past 5 years, I think it's been a learning curve of really understanding digital and consumer behavior on all respective platforms, and just really understanding how people work as human beings. And I've been really excited of having understood that, because I think for the next 5 years is what I said earlier, is how do you translate that into a way where you can bring all these great minds and these conscious leaders that have a voice but that isn't being heard enough. So what I'm most passionate about for the next 5 years is how do I take those skills that have honed and developed without sounding too self-centered, but that I've honed and developed over the past 5 years, and kind of take the conscious leaders and give them the voice that they deserve. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Actually, boom. That's how it is.
Yeah, so for me, I've been really focused again on the narrative of Africa and the perception that people have of the world. So I've spent a lot of time bringing my peers, my friends, influencers to Africa, to Nigeria, to really get a real experience and a real understanding of what they haven't been exposed to their entire lives. There's a perception that Africa is this big, unsafe, inhabitable, poverty-stricken land, and that's one thing I've been really fighting to break, is that ideology. So last year in December, I brought about 17 people from around the world, influencers, educators, tech people, entrepreneurs, to just really come and get a real experience of what Nigeria has to offer. And out of those 17 people, we created like a week experience, right? And out of 17, about 12 of them decided to extend their trip and stay in Africa an extra week, visit other countries. So they're really impacted and really love the experience, so that's what I'm all about, is being able to share that and expose that.
Thank you.
We'll be there December.
December.
It's going down.
So when it comes to my story, I think currently we're operating with the volunteer circle in Lebanon, and we're getting people, skilled and talented people, to connect with organizations that work towards the Sustainable Development Goals, by empowering people to use their skills and make a real contribution sharing their skills. We're hoping that in 5 years from now, we can have the same conversation again, and then I'll tell you, we succeeded at making people mindfully use their time and skills into something that's more meaningful.
Yeah.
Changing the way they network, changing the way they connect with meaningful causes and the access to these opportunities.
Having better access to meaningful causes.
And exactly, as I said, right now we're operating from Lebanon, but I hope that 5 years from now, we'll be able to unite the entire Arab world on the basis of a network that's built on volunteering. How pure is that?
That is amazingly pure. Thank you. That sounds amazing. I want to see it.
Yes.
Akin, tell us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say on the passion project side, one of the things I'm more excited about right now is working with a solar energy company called Christensen in Nigeria to make it so that farmers can actually trade their crop to get micro loans and actually work back towards having renewable energy consistently. We're looking forward to working with more banks in Nigeria, more partners worldwide to make sure that that company can scale its impact on the renewable side, but also like we can share Africa's light a little bit more, just like Ugo was saying, and make sure that we don't help rewrite the narrative that's been told right now to make sure that we can give Africa kind of a place on the global stage. Aside from that, we are Nigerian creatives. We were able to work with a young guy named Kasim, and I met him when I was on a trip back home. He told me that his mom had died, and he was showing me some of his artwork and trying to sell it to different tourists. And it was the last day that I was back home, so I said, I'll just take half of what you have left in the store. That was what started We Are Nigerian Creatives in terms of the online digital art gallery. And we've been able to pay for him to go back to school, and now he's happy making art again.
That's cool.
Awesome.
What about you, Ben?
What about me?
Yes.
Well, I really care about, in this world today, it depends on where you're born and what gender you are, whether or not you have access to quality education. And I feel like that's something that you should see in a documentary, and like, oh, that's how it used to be. But this is 2019, and it still depends on where you were born. Opportunity, talent is everywhere, I almost got that backwards. Opportunity is not. I'd like to see in the next 10 years that we actually make all the talent that's there have access to that opportunity. I get so excited about what we can do together as a multi-generational planetary team.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah, I love that.
Thank you all for being here today.
Thank you
Thank you.
very
It was a
much.
pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, bro.